Fire away.
Your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Will you say thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we certainly didn't play to our capabilities or wasn't very not efficient on the mound, not near as competitive at the plate as we have been, and obviously disappointing night for us.
You noticed in the opening weekend, I think it was Josh Hatcher who batted second, but then since you took over, you put Stovall there, and he's had some success there. Why'd you make the switch?
You're just trying to put together a lineup that allows you to score as many runs as possible, and you got a little bit of experience there and maybe some patience to help Jake a little bit when we're on base and find pitches to hit in the right spots and try to lower some guys. The younger guys, I'd much rather have the younger guys hit lower if possible, or if it makes sense. Not much more than that.
Heading into SEC play, have you been able to kind of define some roles in the bullpen?
Well, I think so. I think not having Spence early on put us in a spot where we had to get some things figured out. And 17 games later, we've got some interchangeable pieces down there. I think that's pretty clear. We don't have a solid, dominant closer at the end, but we've got some guys that have fulfilled the role and give us some good outings late in the game. So that's been really positive to see. I think Gordy, Keegan, JP, Denver, all those guys have been able to pitch well at times late in the game, and so those parts will be a little bit interchangeable depending upon right or left or what time of the game that we go and get them. But we don't have any hard and fast roles down there yet.
When will we see Zane Stevens?
I don't know when you're going to see Zane Stevens. He's doing a good job. Back from some time off and had a really good practice session on Wednesday, and we'll see where that goes.
Gordon, James, those guys, did they throw few enough pitches that they're available Friday night?
Yeah, all the guys that pitched last night, all of them will be available this weekend. All of them.
Bill contends the strikeout to walk ratio. I think it's something absurd, like 35-1. Why do you think that's the case?
Why do I think that's the case? Well, one, you got a strike thrower. The obvious part, Will, and I think another part is he puts himself in a position early in the count, to be able to have a little bit of a margin of error there. But he pounds the strike zone well. He's been able to make the other team put the ball in play because there's not a lot of 3-0, 3-1, But he's just done a really good job of being able to repeat his delivery and pound the strike zone early in the count. It's the simple stuff.
What are you expecting to see from this Vanderbilt team this weekend?
Well, it'll be another well-balanced, deep club. Vanderbilt, they're pitching at about a 2.9, hitting just over 300, and so they've got good interchangeable pieces there. Their starting pitching will be good. They'll have pitching depth, and they'll have a solid approach to offense like they always do.
Connor talked about incorporating the changeup a little bit more this season. Has he done that, or what's the sort of been the?
Well, he's certainly thrown it more than he has in the past. He's not at the spot where he's going to throw it near as much as Ethan does. Mm-hmm. But the last 2 weeks, the ball's coming out of his hand much more, much cleaner, much more confident, and a lot of times, Will, that changeup needs to show up 2-0, 3-1. And he's not doing a lot of that, so we haven't had to use it as much as you might think. But it's absolutely been better the last 2 weeks, and we'll keep introducing it, and hopefully it continues to get better. But it has been, and so is his breaking ball. Both of those off-speed pitches are much better than they were a year ago, dramatically so. Certainly much better than they were a month ago.
I know he's probably better to ask this question than you are, but what's his level of confidence with those pitches as opposed to last year?
Well, he would be better to ask than me, but I think pretty clearly that it's improved. He's not a dominant secondary pitch guy at this point in his life or his development, but those pitches, for a guy like Connor, those pitches are going to continue to get better into his mid and late 20s. There's no question about that. They'll get better, but they're in a drastically different place than they were 12 or 15 months ago.
As you pick your corner outfielders, is it a matter of matchups at the plate or who's hot or defense versus offense, kind of a balancing act?
I think it's all those things. And I think, You know, obviously Jake's going to play center field for us. I think Rowdy has done a great job, continues to do a very good job for us, both offensively and defensively. And then we got the 3 guys that are rotating in right field, and got 2 of them in again last night. And for the foreseeable future, that's what we'll continue to do with those 3 guys.
Where is Marlowe's health right now?
He's going to throw a bullpen today. First one probably in 3 weeks. So we're excited about that. I think he's healthy. He's told me on several occasions here in the last 3 or 4 days that he feels like he's ready to go, but we'll introduce him back onto a full-blown pin session today, and we'll see where that takes us.
How's Kelbrook coming along at this point?
He's healthy. Yeah, he threw again in practice live situation on Wednesday and is making progress.
Roddy Jordan, I think, is like 4th or 5th in slugging for you guys. Is that something that you guys expected out of this year?
No, I don't think so. But we're happy to keep him hitting where he is. At this point in time, not thinking about moving him. And really pleased that he's playing as well as he is.
Anything else?
Thank you, Coach.
Very good.
Appreciate
I
it.
don't know if there's too many sports going on right now. Another year, another SEC season, and you're going up against a really good Vanderbilt team. What are your expectations?
You know, every year you come out the first SEC weekend, you're always going to look for a battle. Vanderbilt's a really good club, and, you know, we're going to stick with the plan that we've always stuck with and go in there and compete.
How's Gary Henderson been as head coach versus pitching coach, and how much has the duties changed for him? Like, is there anything he's doing differently that he wasn't doing or doing more so?
Not really. You know, he's still a pitching coach, but he's, you know, acting head coach. He's brought a lot of wisdom to our team. He's really slowed the team down and really broke down the fundamentals of the mindset and how to really go about things with baseball. With him being our head coach, I feel like he just brings a lot to the table with being coaching over the years and stuff like that. So,
Do you think there's been a culture change with him?
yeah, I'd say it's more, I guess, I don't know, laid back, I guess. I don't really know. I mean, everybody's going to compete just like you would. I mean, it's baseball. It's a competitive sport. But with him, it's more of a mindset type thing. It's not really, you know, a physical. Everybody knows, I mean, if you play SEC baseball, you're going to have the physical attributes to be able to play. But he really harps on the mental aspect of the game. So.
When position players you don't know him as well as you guys do on the pitching staff perhaps approach you about him taking over, how were you able to introduce him? Like, if somebody were to ask you, like, what's he about?
Like he says, I mean, he really talks about the human aspect. Like, if something's funny, he wants you to laugh. And if you have a question, he wants you to ask. He wants you to be a man. He wants men, not boys. And that's really what it comes down to, is all about, you know, becoming a man. And through the 3 or 4 years that people are here at Mississippi State, he wants to know that he has made an impact on somebody.
Is it going to take, with the nature of this team, everybody having to be men, because y'all got some real challenges ahead as the SEC season comes in with kind of offense a little iffy and some things still falling in place here?
Yeah, you know, it's college. You know, we're dealing with 18 to 22, 23-year-old boys, men. You know, I mean, it's a change in people's lives, and I believe that, you know, Coach Henderson really has a good thought and good, you know, pass to really impact people's lives. So,
Why have you been better through your first 4 starts this year versus last year?
mindset, honestly. You know, me and Coach Henderson really sat down a couple times and talked about the mindset and really just slowing down the game, not really getting sped up on the mound and throwing the fastball at the knees in and out and being able to throw a secondary pitch for strikes. So,
Anything else?
Thanks, Connor.
All right.
all right, thank you.
Appreciate it.